Okay, today I want to focus on two core things that are key in streamlining and minimizing your life. If you're trying to declutter, if you're trying to make your house work for you and not against you, these two things are really at the center of it all. And if you keep these two ideas in mind as you declutter, as you reorganize, it will make the whole process much easier. Obviously, there are other layers and complications that particular scenarios or items add to the mix, but I'm telling you, when you think about these two things in making your house function smoothly, they're the most important. And I'm going to give you a good example of this. You really get what I'm talking about, so stick around for that. But let me not hold off too much on these two things and just lay it out for you. The two things are, first, the amount, and two, the access. Those are the two things you need to consider. So basically, the first one, amount, pretty self-explanatory. How much you have determines how easy it is to navigate your space, to find things, to deal with stuff. If you have less, it's going to be easier. If you have more, it's going to be more complicated. And I know this one is pretty basic, but I actually think sometimes we really need to remind ourselves of that as we declutter, because so often it's like, oh, well, this might be useful to me in this or that way. But if you come back to this principle of amount, and you're really trying to reduce by like 70%, if you keep that at the front of your mind as you declutter, it's going to make an impact. So focusing on amount is key, and priming yourself before you declutter, reminding yourself amount. That will make the difference. The second one is access, and this one is a little bit more complicated because there's only so much space and access in any given room of your home. Only so much real estate that is easy access at your desk that you work each day. Only so much access in your kitchen for what's reachable. So you want things easily accessible, especially things that you use really often, but in the place where you use them. And ultimately, the goal is to make it just as simple to leave the thing out as it is to put it away. When it's super simple to put something away and it doesn't actually take more effort than leaving it out, you're more likely to put it away. And so that's where access comes in. If, say, you have a coffee station in your kitchen where you have your coffee maker, you want to have the coffee beans and maybe the grinder if you use a grinder or anything else you need for that right there and super easily accessible, and ideally kind of put away, not visually apparent if possible, but easy to put away. Another example for me is baby bottles in my cupboard, having at a very easily accessible place because I am going through many bottles a day. I've created plenty of space for them so that I don't have to put them in some weird other place. I've accommodated the space in my kitchen, even though I only have so much real estate in my kitchen. But because I'm using those baby bottles so often, I need to have it right there, eye level, easy to grab. Those are the two concepts. Amount, reduce the amount, it'll make it easier, and access. Make things accessible that you use a lot in the place that you use them. And so I want to give another real example of this that actually kind of inspired this video. Let's talk makeup. I'm sorry if you're someone who doesn't wear makeup and this doesn't really apply to you, but I think you'll still find it helpful. Basically, this was my most recent makeup bag. There's still a little bit of stuff in it because I basically decluttered to long-term makeup storage in here. This was a bag I got at IKEA. It's just a simple pouch. There's only one little pocket here, or I guess it's two, but they're not that accessible, and overall I just used it as a single big pouch. When I had a lot of makeup in here, just imagine, it is a deep bag. I'd have to sift through to find the particular item I wanted. And since I do tend to put on makeup most every day, it was a task that took longer just to find, the concealer or the foundation. I'd have to really dig through. Over time, there was just a bunch of stuff in here. It was really overpacked and full, so sometimes I'd have to take things out in order to even reach the bottom, and then I'd have things out, which I'd then have to put back in the bag. So it just made the whole process longer. And I swear it probably added like 3 to 5 full minutes to my otherwise 5-minute makeup routine. So it kind of multiplied the time it took to do my makeup by 2 by having just a bunch of crap in this single open bag. But what I did recently is that I decluttered and switched to this Everlane makeup bag, which I already had in my life on hand from a couple years ago. So I actually am kind of recycling the bag. I'm going back to an old bag that I used. I was tempted to buy, have you guys seen the parallel makeup bags? Those look so nice and they have a lot of vertical storage, which is nice. But you know what? I realized I can make do with this. Those are like $100. I don't need to do that right now. Maybe someday, but not right now. I decided to switch back to this bag, first of all, as an excuse to go through and to declutter makeup. But second, it has a lot more kind of vertical storage. So basically, it has all these pockets along the side that are the perfect size for my makeup brushes or whatever it is. It's really easy to pack stuff in and to be able to see visually what's in there a lot of the time. So I don't have to go searching and digging for something. I can say, oh, I want my face brightener or highlighting balm, whatever it's called. I see it right here, and I grab it out and I use it. And I can put it just as easily back in the pouch. It's not hard, it's not overpacked, and it's visually easy, apparent, super simple to put back. And in the process, what I actually did is to actually throw away some of my makeup that was truly old and unusable. And then I put the extraneous stuff that I don't use on a regular basis back in this bag. So it kind of has my backups or my extras for special occasions in this bag and my more regularly used stuff in this bag, which is more full than my long-term stuff, but at least it's not packed full with everything I have, and I've reduced the overall amount a bit. Now, this was a really simple thing for me to do. Decluttering and reorganizing, I don't even know how long it took. I did it while I was watching a movie, I think, with my husband. So it was just kind of in the background, a super easy task, almost kind of fun to go through my makeup. Probably took me, under 10 minutes realistically to just kind of sift through what do I use every day, what's really old, what can I throw out, what can I put into my longer term bag, and how do I want to organize the new bag in a way that's easy to access, that's working for me, not against me. And now it's saving me, 3 to 5 minutes every single morning, and I can put that time into something else. This is just a makeup bag. Think about all the daily routines you have or all the routines that you do once a week. If you can make the system for that particular task that much easier, everything will start to go so much more smoothly in life, and you will genuinely rack up so much extra time. If you add up 3 to 5 minutes there, 10 to 20 minutes here, you add it up, you might save yourself an hour a day pretty soon through decluttering and reorienting where things are in your space. How can I streamline little aspects of my day to create space and time for more meaningful things in my life and to reduce stress? Because think about it, if your house is easier for you, you're gonna be in a better mood. You're gonna feel more confident, like you can handle your space, like you can handle your stuff, like you can handle other things that life throws your way that are hard. Also, I just want to mention, if you're new here, hi, I'm Aylin, and I make videos on simple living, minimalism, and building an empowering mindset. I try to make your home and your life work for you, not against you. I also am someone living with a chronic illness. I have MS, and so I have to navigate that as well. Actually, in shooting this video right now, I am extremely dizzy. You can't probably tell. You probably have no idea that quietly I'm dealing with that too, but that's, I think, a barrier that so often I don't hear about in the context of making life work for you, or specifically in minimalism. So that's something I talk about as well. And I also have a background in psychology. I used to be a therapist. I used to do research in psychology. So I also bring that lens, I think, to what I talk about here. If you want to join me, do hit the subscribe button. That's a great way also of just supporting the channel, as is liking this video. If you'd be willing to do that, I'd really, really appreciate it. Anyway, that's about it for now, but thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.